Well, welcome to the farm. We actually got some snow. This is our first snow of 2015 from yesterday. We got probably a good 7 or 8 hours straight of snow. Ended up with about 4 inches, which is about 3 inches more than what the forecast said we were going to get. It was supposed to melt last night, I think, with some predicted rain, but it never rained. Instead of it just kept snowing. So anyway, this is a white farm this morning. It's warming up pretty nicely though, so it's melting off pretty fast. It sounds like it's raining, but it's really just dripping off the house and the trees and everything. And our picnic table over here is covered in bird seed. It's been a popular hangout for all the birds over the last day or so, because they can't find anything else under the snow to eat at the moment. And here's some of our chickens who are waiting for the snow to melt. They're not really pleased with this arrangement. They've been hiding under our big hen house, but they can also go through that little gate over there, and then they're basically free to roam. They can go over to the barn, which you can't quite see from here, but they can get into the goat stall. There's our very pregnant Abby, who is due for kidding officially Thursday of next week, but she usually goes about a day early, so we'll start watching her on Tuesday. She's very, very big. And of course, here's some of our chickens. See, they don't want to step in the snow, but they will run quite fast over to the barn to get in there in the stall over there, because they know that's where a heated water bucket is, so they hang out in the goat stall a lot. And I've thrown corn out for them. I try to keep corn out for all the birds during the winter, especially when there's a cold snap, because it helps generate internal heat. So that's a good little tip if you have chickens and you have a sudden drop in weather. If you fill up their bellies with cracked corn the night before and the morning of, it helps them stay warm and it makes them pretty happy. So it's about I don't know, a dozen of our birds there. We've probably got about 30 adults all together, but we've got a bunch of babies over here I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna try not to trip and fall as I take a video. Sypha the soap dog is in the house right now. When it snows, he absolutely loves it, but his brain kind of short circuits and he thinks he can get away with everything when the ground is white, so he figured it was best for all involved if I don't take a video while trying to wrestle him at the same time. This that I'm showing you right here is a small chicken pen. It's actually a breeder pen, and I have it wrapped in plastic right now simply to keep the some of the warm air in there. There's a heat lamp in there because we've got about 30 chicks in there that are about 2.5 weeks old. This back part right here, it's nothing fancy. This back part is a hen house, and then there's a fenced in area here. It's all under shelter, so it keeps them out of the rain. But I'll open it up here so you can see the opening to the hen house part right there. And we have one water bottle out here, but they actually have a full one inside that is under the heat lamp so it doesn't freeze. But they can come out here and roam around if they want and stretch their little legs. But I'll show you the inside. This plastic is only up here because of the snow and ice that we've had in the last week. And it was quite windy the other day, so I didn't want them to get cold. There's an air vent right here that I just loosely put a piece of plastic over to keep the warm air in, but it still lets the air vent. And then back here is the opening for the babies. Now they're all gonna run outside. There's about 30 chicks in here, and we use drip waters for all of our chicks and adults. Keeps the water clean. It also keeps them from wasting their water too, especially during the summer. And there's their feeder. These guys, or I guess I should say girls, are staying out here full time. They've been out here for about 5 days. Before that, they were in the house, in the hallway, in our brooder tank, sorry. and kick them out as soon as I can because I just don't like having them in the house any longer than I have to. So anyway, there's our breeder pen converted to a brooder for the time being. And as soon as these little ladies are old enough, they'll be incorporated in with the flock, which is a free-ranging flock, and which we've got 4 roosters in. So hopefully all these are girls, but you never know. There might be 1 or 2 boys in there. We're not quite sure yet. Okay, so I'm going to try to close this with one hand. Okay, now we're going to take a little trip over here to the barn. And I have to excuse the mess in here during this weather like this. Everything kind of gets thrown into the aisleway so we can get to it easier. This barn was built in the 1800s, so it's quite old and dusty. Back here in the back is our big goat stall. This is where they hang out most of the time. There's Molly over there in the corner hanging out. And a bunch of chickens. Like I said, a lot of the chickens, they can come in right through that door right there. That leads out to the back side. Chickens come in here because there's a heated water bucket right there. They also come in here to get leftover goat feed that might be in the feeders. And it's our little goat hut that my husband built out of old pallets. They like to get on top of it. They like to get under it. Most importantly, it gives the babies a place to hide and nap and feel safe. And so hopefully, oh, there's Greta on the other side of it. Didn't even see her. So hopefully we'll have some babies here in the next week or so. All 4 of our does are pregnant. I'll show you. There's Greta right there. Greta, the one with the white on her face, is actually Molly's 2-year-old baby. So this will be Greta's first year kidding, and hopefully she'll do good. They both put on a lot of weight. I think Molly's going to be due first. And you can hear one of our very loud, obnoxious roosters out in the pasture right now. But this is their stall. That blue bucket is their heated water bucket, and one of their 2 hay feeders. And that's them. And then we will walk back here to see the horses. We have a rain capture system in the back of the barn because we've been here for 10 years and we didn't have running water in the barn until this last year. So we've always captured water, rainwater, for the horses and goats and chickens back here. It's a lot easier than hauling buckets up from the house. We keep a bucket in our trough right here. That bucket has probably been in there for about 5 years. For one thing, it helps break up the ice if it does start to freeze. 2, it keeps the water moving. With just the breeze from the natural breeze will help move that bucket around and get the water moving. Also, it makes it convenient to have for scooping out, and it keeps the bucket clean, so we're not dipping a dirty bucket into clean water. We're keeping that water clean. So anyway, and here's the horses who are finally out after 2 days of being in the barn. It's amazing. White horses don't look white when there's a backdrop of snow, but that's Pebbles. And this is Snow, appropriately named. And they are both 30 years old, or close to 30. Pebbles is nearing 30, and Snow, we believe, is 30. Snow only has 1 eye. She was given to us a few years ago to be a companion to Pebbles. And this is what we call our sacrifice pasture, or sacrifice lot. This is where the horses go when it's wet and muddy. So we don't really bother much with trying to keep grass or anything in this pasture, although grass does naturally grow here. This is the lot that we can put them in because we don't want them to be tearing up the nicer pastures. They're basically here just to stretch their legs, eat some hay, and wait it out until the other pastures are dry enough so they're not tearing up the nicer pastures where the grass is. So anyway, they're not very active anyway because of their age, but they still do need to get out and walk around and forage around. So they have buckets of hay out there and feeders and more hay back there to encourage them to walk around. And that's about it. So, and this also leads up to the back side of our goat pasture. And they have a pretty neat we call it the goat fort over there. It's a thing they can climb on, made out of recycled pallets. That's Sage over there, who we hope is pregnant. We are pretty sure at this point she is. For a while we were kind of doubting it, and she's over there eating snow. And there's the back side of our pack houses, and there's Abby over there. And those barrels are normally not there, but they filled up with what they usually help capture water off the roof, and they filled up, and then during the ice storm last week they completely froze solid, so we've got them turned upside down to help them drain. And there's the back of the house where the roof is finally exposing and the snow is coming down. So anyway, take a quick little walk over here. We've got one more group of chickens that are almost big enough to go into the big flock. Over here in this tractor that looks like it's covered in snow right now, but they're in there. There's 5 juveniles in here with our silky rooster, who he likes raising babies, so odd. We just let him look because he's good with them. There they are, if you can see. A couple of them up there on the roost. And looks like we possibly have 2 roosters in here. Not quite sure. Well, we know the Leghorn crossover, there's a rooster because we've heard him crow. This silver and red, we're not quite sure. I want to say it's a rooster, but there's not been any crowing or fighting coming out of him yet. It is a bigger bird, so we're pretty sure that the daddy of that bird is our Jersey Giant, which would explain the coloring and the size. So anyway, could still be a girl, but they either crow or lay an egg, and that's about the only way that you can tell. So, and there's Party, our partridge silky rooster right there. He takes care of a lot of babies for us. So anyway, they'll be in here for probably a few more weeks, and then they'll move to the big flock. So get this closed up with one hand here, and we'll take a little journey back to the house. We are really waiting for spring to arrive here. It's been a very wet winter for us, so we're looking forward to some dry ground, which we really need, and some warmer weather. We're ready to get the gardens planted. We've got about another month or so before we can start planting in the garden, but it also just makes chores a lot easier. So, and that's about it. This is the farm under snow, and hopefully next time you see a video from here, it will be blue skies and green grass and a little bit warmer, because we are nearing the end of our firewood for the year. So we're rationing it out right now and hoping for the best. So anyway, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for supporting our farm. And if you're local, come see us at the New Bern Farmers Market every Saturday. And if you're not local, find us online at www.beemansfork.com, and of course on Facebook. See you soon!